Welcome back to another great Wednesday here at the Tommy Maroon Sports Show on WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television. As you can tell, should be a good one. First things first, let's get right into it with the Cleveland Indians, or Cleveland Guardians, whatever you want to call them. And they're led by this man named Ahmed Rosario, who carries a .281 average. That leads the team. Jose leads the team in home runs with 33 and RBIs with 87. And swipes it with 23. And with wins is Aaron Savali and Zach Plesac. They both have 10 wins each. Shane Bieber leads us still with 103 strikeouts. He's in Columbus right now, continuing his rehab. And Zach leads us in games started with 22, and Emmanuel Clase leads us in saves with, again, 22. So let's look at the series recaps. Indians against the Twins. We lost that series 3-1. Joe Ryan, 8 innings and 1 hit. 1 hit through 8 innings, which is impressive. He carried a no-hitter for 7 innings, but then didn't happen. Fortunately, thanks to that guy right there, Ahmed. And Miguel Sano hit a home run in Game 3. But he only hit home runs in Game 4. Franmil and Jose to prevent the sweep, and Cal Quantrill went 7.2 innings, gave up 4 hits and 1 earned run. And then the Indians against the Brewers. What a disaster of a series that was. We lost it. We got swept, for golly's sake. That was depressing. And Eduardo Escobar hit a home run in Game 1. Lorenzo Cain hit a grand slam in Game 2. Game 1 as well. And then this game, a big crowd out there in downtown Cleveland, only to watch a no-hitter. For the 4th time this year, we got no hit. We couldn't hit our way out of a wet paper bag. That's what my dad would say. Oh my goodness, it's just embarrassing and ridiculous. Your team gets no hit 3 times officially, and 4 times if you count the one against Tampa. I don't care if it's the worst pitcher in the world or a Cy Young candidate like Corbin Burns. You can't get no hit repeatedly. I mean, we didn't even put up a fight against Corbin. He just shut us down. He threw 8 shutout innings and then handed it off to Josh Hader, who got the job done. You talk about something depressing. 4 times we've been no hit. Good Lord. And then Milwaukee scores 11 runs in Game 3 just to add salt to the wounds. And then to continue to add salt to the wounds, the Indians didn't get our first hit of the ball game of the 3rd game until the 6th inning because, as you could tell, the baseball gods really hate the Cleveland Indians. My goodness, I still can't believe it. That was the only base runner. A Miles Straw walk. Otherwise, Corbin Burns, who rarely walks anyone, just shut us down. That is depressing. 8 no-hit innings for Corbin Burns, 1 for Josh Hader, who is actually on my fantasy team. And we had a doubleheader yesterday. We split the doubleheader, winning the first game because Bradley Zimmer had a home run, and Austin Hedges had an RBI double. And then the next game, the Indians were up 3-0, and then Minnesota scored 6 unanswered. Logan Allen was tagged with the loss out there. According to this phone right here, a guy who had 4 RBIs was Ryan Jeffers. Good golly nuts. He was that good for the Minnesota Twins. The catcher, 3 for 3, 4 RBIs and 2 runs. That means he was part of every single run in the ball game. The Cleveland Indians are nowhere to be found in the playoff hunt. 12.5 out of the American League Central, for golly's sake. And 70-73. We are closer to the Twins, who are in dead last, than we are to the White Sox, who are sitting up pretty in first place. And we're 10 games out of the wild card, exactly 10 games out of the wild card. You talk about an embarrassment out there. The Cleveland Indians have just been struggling all season long. It has just not been fun whatsoever. So now time for NASCAR, the Federated Auto Parts 400. Salute to first responders. That's right, it was Martin Truex Jr. who won the race. And we'll move on to the round of 12, being the second one of the season. That was his first win of the postseason. Denny Hamlin won stages 1 and 2. Christopher Bell ended up in third, surprisingly. And by the way, I believe Denny Hamlin finished in second place, by the way. Yes, he did. Top 3 drivers were Toyotas. How about that? Ross Chastain finished in 7th place. Bubba Wallace hit the wall in lap 250. That's with 150 laps to go. And then, of course, an uneventful race, may I say. Typically, I'd bring up what happened during the NASCAR race, but there weren't any yellow flags unless if it was a competition caution, unless if it was the end of the stage, or in that case, Bubba's crash. Otherwise, nothing significant happened. A very clean race, a very good race, and how about that? The top 3 drivers were Toyotas, as previously mentioned. Good race, and we'll see what happens next week at Bristol. But before we end our NASCAR talk, they're heading to the Los Angeles Coliseum, I believe. That's right, the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. The thing that's hosted 1932 and 1984 and soon to be 2028 Olympic Games is going to be hosting a NASCAR race. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it will be fun to watch at the NASCAR race at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. There's Martin Truex Jr., obviously thrilled to win that race. Now time for my favorite part of the show, where I give away my picks. That's right, Tommy's Picks Recap. We'll put them on your screen right there. It was a rough week for me. As you could tell, a lot of losses for me. First things first, high school football. St. Ed's took down Cincinnati Outer despite being on the road, 48-14. Number 2, Medina. Drew Auer did a good job against Stowe, 38-27. Of course, Drew Auer is very good. Brunswick crushed Toledo Wade, 44-0. And Hudson beat the tar out of Twidsburg, 49-6. And Highland, in what was a great game out there, 49-7. Wait, it was close. It was 7-7. Yes, it was 7-7 after the first quarter. But then from that point onwards, it was all Highland. Aaron connected with Kevin and Andrew during the game. He had a touchdown run, I believe. Yes, he did have a touchdown run. And of course, Kevin's big punt return for a touchdown. That was absolutely insane. And if you missed it, don't worry. The highlight reel is on YouTube at the Highland Hornet Sports Network. North Royalton upsets Nordonia 28-20. And Archbishop Hoban took down Archbishop Alter 27-14. And St. Ives beat Euclid 44-14. And Berea Mid-Park, how about this? Berea Mid-Park takes down Elyria 19-7. And Avon Lake upsets number 7 Avon on the road 30-24. Olmsted Falls Bulldogs with a strong and convincing and thorough 14-9 win over the Midview Middies. Barberton takes down Roosevelt. Should be easy, or was definitely easy for them, 42-15. And the scary Aurora Greenman do it again, a 35-0 trouncing over the Copley Indians. And then you guys, Wadsworth took a beating to Brecksville Broadview Heights, 42-7. And Massillon Washington beat Ward Harding in a high-scoring shootout, 49-46. And Catton McKinley beat Massillon Perry 27-25. That was fun to see. College football, of course, going to be up now. Oregon upset Ohio State. Oh, my goodness. How did Oregon do it? The biggest win for them since perhaps the playoffs when they beat Florida State in the original college football playoffs. And Notre Dame nearly lost to Toledo. I don't know how we nearly lost to Toledo. It would have been embarrassing, but fortunately it didn't happen. Michigan State took down Youngstown State 42-14. Wyoming beat Northern Illinois 50-43. Purdue shut out UConn 49-0. UConn just can't catch a break. Cincinnati beat Murray State 42-7. Temple beat Akron 45-24. Iowa State beat Iowa, even though it says Iowa 27, Iowa 17. It was Iowa State that won. Arkansas beat Texas in a big upset, 40-21. And Michigan beat Washington 31-10. And Arizona State took down the running Rebels of UNLV 37-10. Now the NFL. The Bucks played the overrated Cowboys, and the Buccaneers won it 31-24. Texans beat Sucksonville. Who would have thought it? They beat Sucksonville. Trevor Lawrence looked terrible out there. And then you have the Chargers taking down the Washington football team 20-16. Seahawks and Russell Wilson take down the Colts 28-16. Sam Darnold got revenge against his former team, the Jets. Suck, 19-14. How about this? The Bungles win on a last-second field goal when the clock struck 0 in overtime to upset the Vikings 27-24. And the Cardinals absolutely beat the tar out of the Titans 38-13. And the 49ers beat the loser Lions 41-33. Despite that game looking close for the most part, it was kind of a blowout. And then the Steelers beat the Bills, where the special teams showed up for Pittsburgh with that blocked punt returned for a touchdown. And then you have Die Eagles Die taking down the Chokers, where Matt Ryan went down 32-6. And the Chiefs just so happened to beat the Browns on a very great game. We were up 22-10 at halftime. I thought we were going to win, but we didn't. It ended up being the rough and tough Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, and all that smack talking out of me turns out to be all for naught, as the Browns still haven't won week 1 since 2004. And then the Saints beat the Packers in a big upset. Jameis Winston, how about Jameis Winston? 38-3. And the Broncos beat the Giant Losers 27-13. Free Willy took down Mac Jones and the New England Patriots in Mac Jones' debut, 17-16. Rams beat the Bears on Sunday night in a big overtime win. Raiders beat the Ravens 33-27. That's all that happened last week for my picks. Last week recap, high school football, 10-6, 11 points. Now I'm 44-18 this year and 50 points. And then college football went 6-5 with 7 points. Now 17-8 with 20 points. In the NFL, I was horrible, 8-8. That shouldn't be happening, but I went 8-8. That is depressing. Now time for Tommy's picks once again. And as you can tell, I have a lot of great stuff. A lot of great stuff. So first things first, the high school football. Big game, Highland against Barton, Northeast Ohio Zones. Game of the week. They're coming to the Tire. They say they've never been to the Tire before. I told them, buy a Hornet Burger. If you're going to stadium, buy a Chick-fil-A sandwich or a Hornet Burger. I'd rather say Hornet Burger because Chick-fil-A sandwiches go by so quickly. Big game. 2 great schools. 2 top 25 schools. 2 schools that look like they could easily win it. Oh boy, it's going to be close. But Highland 34, Barberton 31. Going to be a high-scoring shootout. A high-scoring shootout. Mark my words. Highland's going to win it 34-31. St. Ives playing Archbishop Hoban on Saturday, I believe, where St. Ignatius will play Archbishop Hoban. Strongsville against Medina, excuse me. Drew Hour and the Battling Bee should win that. Brecksville playing Stowe. Stowe should get the easy win. Solon playing Cathedral Prep. I don't know about you, but I'm picking Cathedral Prep. And then Euclid against Brunswick. Euclid is without a win. Brunswick is ranked 24, but they're 2-2. I'm going to go out on a far reach out here and say Euclid's going to be my upset of the week. And then a big matchup, St. Ed's against Massillon, Washington. I'm picking St. Ed's to win that. Cuyahoga Falls is going to play Aurora. That's my lock of the week. The Aurora Greenmen are going to take down and demolish the Black Tigers. And then the Indians playing the Rough Riders. I think Cowboys going to win with the home field advantage. Elyria playing Avon. Elyria lost for the first time this season. I think they're going to lose again with a loss to Avon. And then Avon Lake playing Berea Mid-Park. That'll be a good game, but I think Avon Lake's going to win it. St. Charles against Walsh Jesuit, picking Walsh to win that. Sandusky against St. V. St. M. I'm picking Sandusky to win it. Lakewood playing Normandy. I am picking Lakewood to win that. I think the Rangers have a good shot. Rangers haven't been doing that bad this season. Going up against the Invaders should be somewhat easy for them, but maybe the Invaders will put up a fight. And then for Hudson playing, well, you guys, Wadsworth, Hudson against Wadsworth. I'm picking the Hudson Explorers to win that one. Finally, McKinley against Green. I'm picking Green because Green has been doing a good job this season. I think they're 3-1. Don't quote me on that. College football, you have Indiana against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is going to join the Big 12 next year. Should win it. Buffalo playing Coastal Carolina. I'm picking Coastal Carolina. Army against UConn. Lock of the week. They're playing UConn. Good God. Army is going to win it. Notre Dame against Purdue. I'm picking Notre Dame. Florida playing number 1 Alabama. That should be a cakewalk for the Crimson Tide. They will win that. Clemson playing Georgia Tech. I think DJ Uiagalelei and Clemson should win it. Wake Forest against Florida State. Florida State lost on a last-second Hail Mary last week. Something's got to give for them. I think something's going to give for them with a win. Akron against Bryant. I don't know why. I'm an Akron student. I feel bad going with Bryant, but I just think Bryant's going to win. Liberty playing Old Dominion. I'm picking Liberty. Georgia against South Carolina. Picking Georgia. And then Penn State playing Auburn. Big game out there. Picking Penn State to win that. Of course, next year, Drew Auer is going to be at Penn State playing quarterback there. BYU against Arizona State. Picking BYU. And Ohio State against Tulsa. Going to pick Ohio State. Last but not least for college football, Colorado against Minnesota. Going to pick Minnesota. Time for the NFL. The Washington football team, they are still known as the Washington football team because Dan Snyder still hasn't thought of a new name. Going up against the Giant Losers. Without Fitzception, I think the Giant Losers should win. Of course, Fitzception for the football team is hurt. And then Jets suck against Mr. Tom Brady. I think the Patriots should win that one. Then you have Sucksonville against the Broncos. I think Denver could win it. That means Denver is going to be 2-0. Good Lord. And again, still too early, just 2/17 of the way through the season. And then Free Willy playing the Buffalo Bills. I'm picking the Buffalo Bills. Die Eagles die going up against the 49ers. I am picking Die Eagles die. Colts against the Rams. My pick goes with the Los Angeles Rams. TikTok Losers against the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm picking the Las Vegas Raiders to beat the Steelers. Bears against the Bungles. I'm picking the Bears. Browns against the Texans. Toast. I'm picking the Cleveland Browns to win that one. Should be a good one. Panthers against the Saints. I am picking the Saints. Cardinals against the Vikings. I just think Kyler Murray has the upper edge against Minnesota. He should lead them to a win. And then you have the Bucs against the Chokers. That's right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if Tom Brady makes another comeback against the Falcons, good heaven help them. The Falcons have not been the same team since 28-3. Seahawks playing the Titans. That's actually a good game, but I think the Titans are going to drop that one to Seattle. I just have that feeling. Seattle at home, 12th man, and the 12th man is finally back for Seattle. Yeah, good luck to Tennessee. Chargers against the Cowboys. I'm picking my upset of the week as the Dallas Cowboys. And then the Ravens against the Chiefs Sunday night. Lamar against Mahomes. I think Mahomes is going to have the advantage. That means the Ravens are going to dip down to 0-2. Who would have thunk it? The Ravens potentially being 0-2 against Kansas City. Kansas City rarely loses, as we all know. Packers against the Lions. That's a gimme for the Packers, but you never know. I thought last week was going to be a gimme for the Packers, but the Saints ended up winning with Jameis Winston in what was Fox's game of the week. And of course, after this football week is over, we'll be 1/9 of the way through the NFL season, about 1/4 of the way through college football, halfway through the high school football regular season. My goodness, we've been going really fast this season. And if you want to continue to look at what's going on in the high school football world and college football world and NFL world, you might want to tune in to Tommy's Picks right here on the Tommy Maroon Sports Show. That's all the time we have left here. Subscribe to the Highland Sports Network, and I will catch you all next time right here on WCTV.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.